Good morning, girls. In the last class, we learnt about the village panchayat. We learnt about the functions of the village panchayat. There are two types of functions, the compulsory function and the voluntary function. And we also learnt about the significance of the village panchayat. Now, today we'll be talking about the block samiti and the Zilla Parishad. So, we'll begin with the class. Block Samiti composition. So first we look into the composition of the block samiti. What is a composition, or what constitutes the block samiti? Several villages are grouped together to form a block. Village panchayats of an area join together to form a block samiti. So we already discussed before that a block is formed by several villages. Around 10 villages, 8 or 10 villages, they join together to form a block, and each of these villages, they have a village panchayat. So the village panchayats, they group together to form the block samiti. The members of the block samiti are not elected directly by the people. They are elected by the pradhans and panchas of the village panchayat. So the block samiti members, they are not people's representatives. They are not elected by the people, but they are elected by the pradhans and panchas of the village panchayat. They are elected by the leaders of the village panchayat. Besides these, the members of the state Vidhan Sabha, MLAs, Vidhan Parishads, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha from that block are also members of the block samiti. So the members of the block samiti, they are elected by the pradhans and panchas, and apart from these members, there are also other members of the state Vidhan Sabha. Now the state Vidhan Sabha is a state legislative assembly, and the Vidhan Parishad is a state legislative council. So the state Vidhan Sabha is a lower house in the state, and the Vidhan Parishad is a upper house in the state. So members of these two, and then members of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha are also members of the block samiti. Some members of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes are its members. So they also give seats. They also give membership to the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. Now these are the backward people, the socially and economically backward class people are known as the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So these people, these members are also part of the block samiti. 1/3 of the total seats are reserved for women. So among the seats, 1/3 of the total seats, they are reserved for women. The members of the block samiti elect a chairperson and a vice chairperson. So the block samiti members, all these members, they elect a chairperson and a vice chairperson. And this chairperson and the vice chairperson is the head of the block samiti. Now we look into the working of the block samiti. Working. The block samiti supervises the working of gram panchayats in the block. So block samiti, it takes care of the working of all the gram panchayats in the block. Now we saw that the block is formed by many gram panchayats coming together. So this block, which has many gram panchayats, the block samiti looks after, or it supervises the functioning of these gram panchayats to make sure that all the gram panchayats are working properly. It prepares a plan for the development of the block. The community development programs are successfully implemented with the help of the block development officer, who is a permanent representative of the state government. So the block samiti prepares plans for the block development. It makes plans to develop the block, for the development of the block. And there is an officer who is the block development officer, BDO. He is a representative of the state government. He is sent by the state government to make sure that all the development programs, all the block development programs are put into practice. They are successfully put into practice. So this is supervised by the block development officer. Sources of income. The block samiti gets money from the state government for the development of its block. So here in the block samiti, money is the source of income. sources from the state government. In the village panchayat, we saw that there were many sources of income. They could collect taxes, they got grants from the government, they got fine which people gave as money which people gave as fine, were all source of income for the village panchayat. But when it comes to the block samiti, their only source of income is the money which they get from the state government. Now, functions of the block samiti. It makes arrangements for providing primary and adult education to the people in a block. So it is a duty of the block samiti to ensure that everyone in the village, both children and adults, have the access to education. So that is the first function. Then it looks after healthcare and organizes vaccination programs. So the block samiti looks into the medical matters, it looks into the healthcare matters, and also the block samiti conducts many vaccination programs. It helps the farmers by providing irrigation facilities and distributing seeds and fertilizers. So the block samiti also provides water supply to all the fields, and they also distribute seeds and fertilizers. Now, fertilizer, it is a chemical substance. It is either a natural or a chemical substance which is used to make the plants grow faster and much better. So they provide proper irrigation facilities, they provide proper water supply, and also they distribute seeds and fertilizers to the farmers. Then it promotes cottage industries and arranges for training for self-employment. So the block samiti encourages cottage industries. Now, cottage industries means small business where people work in their houses itself. So they encourage cottage industries, and they also arrange training for self-employment. Self-employment means where one works for oneself. A person who is not working under any employee, but he works for himself. So the block samiti, it encourages self-employment trainings. It undertakes welfare functions such as the supply of clean drinking water, sanitation, and cleanliness. So they also have many other welfare functions. Welfare means well-being functions such as the supply of clean drinking water. They supply clean drinking water to the villages. Then they make sure that there is a proper sanitation facility. Now, sanitation means it is a system where the dirty water and all the other waste products, they are removed from the area where people live. So that process of removal is known as a sanitation. So they provide proper supply of clean drinking water, proper sanitation facilities, and also cleanliness, where the village is maintained clean and safe. So these are the functions of the block samiti.